All right, guys. So today we're going to be testing out the new Lisa Eldridge Foundation, which I know not only, I was so interested in it when I saw the packaging. Just the fact that I knew that Lisa Eldridge was coming out with a foundation. I was like, I have to try this. And also it's just like so sleek and like cute and also like chic, but also futuristic. So this is the Seamless Skin Foundation by Lisa Eldridge. So I picked up shade number 3. And one of the reasons that I'm interested, obviously, like I said, I was super interested because of Lisa Eldridge, but a lot of you guys were asking me to review it because apparently she added a lot of olive tones to her range. Now, typically when I try like a foundation, if I'm picking something up, I try to get like at least 2 shades. And when I was looking at the website description of the shades, pretty much only number 3 sounded like it would work for me. You know, like if I went, like usually if there's like a fair one or fair light or light, I usually try to like, get one, a couple, around that would work for either olive or like warmer toned skin. And it kind of just seemed like this was the only one. Yeah, so number 3 was described as light with golden undertones. Number 2 was light with rosy undertones, not even close. Number 1 was extra light with neutral undertones, which I just looked at like the model that they used and it didn't look like me at all. It looked incredibly porcelain. Number 4 was light with peach undertones, and I was like, it just kind of looked like it would be like a little bit darker just based on like the models that they used, and I'm not peach. I was like, 3 sounds good, I'm just gonna go with that, I really hope that it works. So this foundation is supposed to be skin friendly, has customizable medium coverage that can be dialed up or down, love. Self-setting, it blends effortlessly to smooth and unify skin with a noticeable soft focus effect, love. The final finish is neither dewy nor flat matte, but something skin-like and in between. That sounds perfect. I love like a satin finish, something that's like ever so, something that will like work for me in the summer and the winter. I want to just like, obviously that was like 4 minutes of me just fucking talking. So like, I just want to like apply it and we'll test it out. But then I want to give it some shade comparisons to see how it stands up with like some of my other olive foundations. So let's zoom on in. I already put a little color correction underneath my eyes. So I think I'm going to try it with a brush and a sponge. It said to apply with either. So I'm going to use my Sigma. This is actually the Cinderella collection, but it's just the F80 flat kabuki from Sigma. It has this little divot here where it has like the shade number so that when it sits, it doesn't like roll around, just so you guys know. So I'm going to put a pump of this on the back of my hand. So I have to say, when I look at the color to begin with, it looks like kind of a golden peach, to be completely honest. Like it has a little bit more, not necessarily orange, but like kind of a peachy tone to it. So I'm picking up a little bit with my kabuki brush. The formula does feel just like really nice, like kind of moussey. That was too much. I just want to give this a shot for all of you who do prefer brushes. Getting pilling from my sunscreen. That's how, did I say that? I prepped my skin, sunscreen and all of that. That's one of the reasons that I try to avoid brushes. Because no matter what, my sunscreen ends up pilling. I think the color looks really good. Yeah, I'm gonna end up getting a lot of pilling if I continue with a brush. So I'm gonna say no to that. I'm gonna put out another pump on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna just go in with my sponge because that's the way to do it. That's the way I do it. And I'm using the Makeup Forever water tone sponge. I'm a little worried about oxidation. Okay, I definitely got really lucky with the color because it's pretty fucking perfect, I gotta say. When I put that down, I feel like the color looks pretty good. Like it actually looks a little bit lighter than my skin tone when I put it down, but then I do think it's oxidizing a little bit. So it looks a little bit light and then it ends up looking like maybe half a shade darker, which is fine with me. I do have to say, like, as I'm putting it down right now, the finish looks stunning. Like, it looks really beautiful. It does look very beautiful. It does look very much like my skin. Like, it doesn't look like I'm wearing foundation, But it also provided, like, a really nice amount of coverage. I have put out, like, 3 pumps, but I think that's just, yeah, it's oxidizing on my hand. Wait, so if you can see right there, I can't tell, I don't know, because I just put it like right in the center, but obviously right here, you can kind of see like the color delineation. When I first put it down, it looks much lighter. Not by like a ton, but it definitely oxidizes a bit. So you do want to keep that in mind when you're like trying to pick up shades, just because they're only available online if you're in the US. I know she has a pop-up in the UK, which doesn't really bother me because I always feel like if it oxidizes just a little bit dark, I'll just use like a slightly lighter concealer. And then it actually ends up creating like a really nice dimension to the face. So I don't know, it's not something that like is a deal breaker for me. So I'm just building up a little bit more around my nose because I need a little more coverage in that area right now. This is so interesting. It has this really, really lightweight, moussey, creamy kind of texture. Almost like moussey. Like when you eat when you eat an ice cream cake and it starts to melt a little bit. I don't know. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, it's a very unique formula. I feel like I don't know if I've used a foundation that I'm trying to think of like what I could compare it to. And for whatever reason, all I'm thinking of is I'm comparing it to the Pat McGrath foundation just because they're both like luxe and they're both like, you know, famous British makeup artists. But Pat's foundation is much more liquidy, like incredibly liquidy. This is like very light and moussey, very unique to me. I don't think it's that noticeable. Like if you're looking at my neck, you might be able to see a little bit. It kind of ends up oxidizing ever so slightly more on the peach side, but when I first put it out, it looked a little bit more golden, like light golden. But I genuinely think the finish looks really beautiful. Let's apply a little bit of my concealer, see how that goes. I'm gonna go in with my, maybe I'll use Rare Beauty since it's a little bit dark. And my Rare Beauty is a little bit light. So this is the 170W. Dude, my dark circles are so fucking dark. So I'm gonna do what I usually do. All right, well, that's really the test, going in with concealer, you know? Because if a foundation doesn't work with your concealer, then it's probably not gonna work with the other products, but this looks pretty good to me. All right, I'm gonna finish off the rest of my face. I have a few other things that I wanna film, and I will come back to show you the finished result, but this is gonna be a wear test. We're gonna be wearing it throughout the day to see like how it holds up. I don't know if I mentioned that. All right, guys, I gotta say, I'm very happy with the way this is looking. So obviously she is marketing it as a self-setting foundation. So I didn't use any powder on the rest of my face. The only place that I set was directly underneath my eyes. And I'm very happy with the finish. Like it looks absolutely beautiful with everything, like everything blended perfectly. I just did my usual routine. You didn't miss anything. I'm wearing Champagne Pop on my cheeks. It just looks so stunning. Like I love the finish of it. I think it looks absolutely stunning. So this is obviously, you know, up close and personal, the results, you know, finished full face. I am going to film an eye look and wear this for the rest of the day. But before I do that, I just wanted to give you some swatches to compare it to my other olive foundations. Oh wait, actually, since we're like right here, I didn't realize I wasn't zoomed in all the way. What do you guys think? I'm very happy with the finish of it. I think it looks really beautiful. And it feels really lightweight too, you know? Like it just looks like my skin. The area that I always have to watch for when I don't set a foundation is in this area and then also my smile line. So we'll see like how that wears throughout the day. But first, let's compare some swatches. So this one right here is the Lisa Eldridge Foundation. So that's Lisa Eldridge number 3, which is fucking crazy, dude. Look at this. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? That's Revlon Color Stay in Buff. How fucking peach does that look compared to the other two? Is that crazy? It's crazy that I wear all 3 of these foundations. And this is Rare Beauty 170W, which in all honesty, a little bit lighter, but pretty much the same tone, you know, as the Lisa Eldridge lipstick. Lipstick? Foundation. So just by these swatches, I'm absolutely shocked at the shade difference between this and Buff. Like I'm just absolutely shocked. It's like kind of crazy. When I'm looking at it on my hand right here, it looks peachier than the Rare Beauty foundation. I think the Rare Beauty foundation is a little bit light for my skin. Lisa Eldridge is probably like pretty good as in terms of like the value, but as it oxidizes, it does become a little bit peachier. Rare Beauty does seem to stay like pretty much that color, you know, like it might oxidize ever so slightly. I mean, pretty much every foundation is going to oxidize at least a little bit, but just judging by like this, let's move it a little bit, you know, like I think it blends really nicely with my neck. It doesn't look disconnected in any way. It looks really nice with like all of the other colors that I'm wearing on my face. I think I used my San Juan bronzer, my Fenty Matchstick in amber. You know, like I think it looks really nice. It is 1 fluid ounce, by the way. Let's see how much this retails for, because now I can't remember. I bought it in euros, and I don't never remember what that conversion is. 44 euros. Let me look that up in US dollars. So it's just under $50, 49.81 cents. So like 50 bucks. How does that compare to the Pat McGrath foundation? Is $68. And if I'm being honest, I was not a big fan of the Pat McGrath foundation. I thought, I don't know, it was very liquidy. I just didn't really love it. I don't know. I also didn't really like have a shade that, you know, worked for me perfectly. So these are beginning to oxidize, dry down. All right, so once again, we have the Lisa Eldridge foundation. So you can see that it oxidizes a little bit. It got a little bit darker, definitely starting to look a little bit more peach, but compared to like Revlon, what? That is blowing my fucking mind. I wear this foundation all the time. Dude, that is pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. So let's see how it wears. All right, guys, let's take a look at this. Ignore the eyes. The eyes were a beautiful thing that were not meant to last. So just pretend, because they're clearly melting. All right, so let's see. I last saw you at around 1-ish, and it's now 8:30. So I've been wearing this for a while. Well, I can't remember what I was filming. I might have been filming the eye look, honestly, at 1. So it might have been a little bit before that. So I can comfortably say we've been wearing it for like 8 hours. I mean, wait, this is zoomed in a little too much. I would say for 8 hours of wear and not setting it, it looks really beautiful. Like it's worn so beautifully. Like I think my complexion looks kind of stunning, like if I do say so myself. The only things that I'm seeing are, I do have some oil breaking through like here. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but I have some like breakup happening around my nose because I didn't set it. So once again, some oil coming through, which like is typical for me, but setting those areas usually like prevents that from happening. But I obviously didn't set my face. So, and then the one thing I was a little concerned about was like just lines and like build up throughout the day of like, you know, smiling and all of that. My lips have stayed pretty well too, actually. I'm just wearing lip liner. That might be the trick. So I do have like a tiny bit, you know, of like build up here, but it's the kind of thing where like if I just do that, it's like fixed, you know, it's just like a little bit of buildup of product in like my lines. I would say mostly like the oil. As far as like self-setting, I definitely think that like you don't have to set it, you know, but I would, just because like I tend to be a little bit more oily in my T-zone, probably just set that area, you know. But the rest of my face I obviously didn't set, and I actually really like the way the outer perimeter of my face looks, and it also doesn't feel heavy at all. Pretty much like earlier I was just kind of like hanging out, and I was just kind of like putting my hand on my chin because I forgot that I was wearing anything on my face. And from that, it honestly like held up pretty well. You know, like I don't see any like major removal. So I think it's a beautiful foundation. I genuinely think it's like so worth it. Let me see if I can like blend that. Oh, that kind of works. Usually when I try to blend around here, I just kind of like end up fucking it up. I guess I'm kind of like removing it. It definitely seems like a foundation that wears really well, you know? I'm really happy with it. I love the formula itself. Like, I love the lightweight, moussey texture of it. The color actually worked so much better than I was like thinking. Like, for whatever reason, I thought it was gonna oxidize a lot more, but I just kind of feel like it blends so perfectly with me, you know? I did use a slightly lighter concealer than I usually do, so I'd be interested to try this with like my Shape Tape because it's like not quite as light as my Rare Beauty concealer, but I don't know, I just feel like my complexion looks so beautiful. Like it does look very smooth and it just looks like my skin, you know? Me personally, if you were trying to like choose a high-end foundation, I would recommend this one. I really like it. This is my first time wearing it, so it was like my first wear test, my first experience with it. I'm gonna have to wear it more, but I think it's fantastic. Like, I think immediately I really like the results. I didn't really feel that with the Pat McGrath one. I tried a Giorgio Armani foundation, and I remember not really like feeling that way. The Tom Ford foundation is kind of the same thing. Like, it wasn't like an immediate love, you know, and the shade was like really yellow. But this one, I have a feeling it's gonna be my new favorite foundation. Like, I just think that it like works for my skin tone so beautifully. So especially if you're like around my tone, if you're like light and more olive, shade number 3 is beautiful. And I would definitely be interested in hearing from people who have like more medium skin, who tend to be more olive. If you picked up the foundation, let me know if like the shades have worked for you. But yeah, I really like it a lot. I think it's really beautiful. So I would highly recommend it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you want to see more like wear tests like this. I know a lot of you guys are always interested in olive products. So hopefully this helps a little bit. Definitely olive approved. I still can't get over that like side by side with Color Stay. That was crazy. Like, it makes me feel like, how am I still wearing this color? Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.